Hello, everyone. Welcome back to something a little different again. I am finally back on camera. I had taken apart my camera stand, but I made a new one, so I can finally do this. I have a quick announcement video. I wanted to talk about where I am going to be going in the next few months with this channel. I started with the 20 games in 30 days, but that was only where the channel started. That is not where I started as a game designer or developer. In 2019, started making games again. I'd done them when I was younger, and I started with a. What got me back into game design was playing a colony sim and deciding that I wanted to make something similar, but with different mechanics. And I quickly realized that that project was way too big, so I pivoted and started a incredibly small project called Survive the Maze, which I thought I could complete in a few months. Stop me if you've heard the story before, but I restarted it three separate times, scope creep, whatever. I've done a whole video talking about some of the things that went wrong with that experience, but I never finished that game, and I kind of lost my confidence for a while. And so the 20 games in 30 days series has been great because I watched hours, by hundreds of hours of GDC talks and game design lectures, and I got all of this knowledge about how game design works, but I didn't really have the concrete experience to back that up. And the series has been a great way for me to begin fleshing all that out of, oh yeah, I learned this thing or heard this thing, now I'm doing this thing. And so I am starting to look at it as, if you imagine like a skill tree within a game, I'm unlocking more and more skills and more specific game design aspects that I may have learned about but have never actually done. And now I can say that I've done it and I feel confident that I can do it again in a real game. So yeah, where does that leave me now? 20 games in 30 days is continuing. I'm not stopping that series, but I originally intended, back when I started this, I had no experience on YouTube, and I severely underestimated how long it would take to make a video. I thought 3 or 4 hours to do the editing on something like this. It's been closer to 30 to 40 on most videos, which means that I knew I wouldn't make 20 games in 30 calendar days, but I was intending for it to be 20 games in 30 days in about 20 weeks. And I started last October, so I would be done with the series by the start of 2022, and I would have been 6 months into my first game by now. That didn't happen, obviously, and I have 12 more months of this series before I'm done with 20 games in 30 days, if I'm continuing at one game a month, which has been my pace, and starting to make sense to me to keep that as the pace. So that gives me time to really do this well, to not rush it. But also, I'm going to take the extra time I have in the month, and instead of trying to push to get a video out sooner, I'm going to start investing into my first game. And I'm going to reorganize the 20 and 30 games that I'm making to learn the skills I'm going to need next in the order that I'll need them. So there'll be a slight change to the production schedule, which I don't think I've even shared at all. So I'll share a quick picture of here's the games I'm going to make and the order I think I'm going to make them in. But that's all shuffled around a bit. But yeah, so I'll be doing that. I will every now and then be doing maybe something a little special with 20 and 30. I want to take one of my 20 games, I'm not sure which one yet, and actually push it all the way onto Steam. Not that I think it'll sell well, it's a clone of a game that already exists, but to have the experience of having made a Steam store page and released an official game, I think would be very useful to have. A bunch of other things. I'm going to move into 3D. I'm going to do all the things I'm going to need for this first game. I'm going to try to do first, and then I'll swing back around and make some other games that don't relate as directly, but are still cool, I think. So that's the plan going forward. I also would like to, this is another brief announcement within here, but I want to formalize the 20 games challenge. I'm going to drop the 30 days part for that because I've received a lot of feedback that that may not be the wisest option. I'm trying to cram it into a short amount of time, and I've actually changed the way I do this now. I'm defining one day as 18 hours of active development time, whether it is consecutive or not. But my original plan was that it would be 20 game jams. And that doesn't make a lot of sense because that's not how you make real games either. So I'm going to drop the 30 days part, but it's going to be 20 games challenge. I'm going to put it on, I do have a website I'm working on. So I'll be launching that. Probably I'll have a short video on that one too later. But yeah, so if other people want to do this challenge, there'll be kind of a hub for that, which I think will be cool. And then yeah, my first game, it's going to be called Telemachus, and that is actually the name of someone who lived in history. This is a um, narrative based, not just a narrative driven game, but narrative based game design, where everything that I'm going to do, and even things as simple as the genre of the game, is built entirely around the story I'm telling. So I'm going to take a story from history, I'm going to retell it in the future. Obviously, I'm going to change some parts. It's going to be based on a true story, not beat for beat the true story. But I'm excited for that, and I'm ready to start this game. And something really, really cool that happened. I have been processing this for a couple months now of am I ready to start, and started talking with some friends about it, and we're sitting on a fire, and I ended up sharing the whole narrative design for this game, where what kind of game I want it to be, and every little aspect about it that I had planned so far. And a couple of the friends there were like, wow, that's really cool. And one of them said, I don't have any real talent when it comes to game design. But I know how to write a narrative, and I would love to help you look through that narrative that you're writing, and I'll offer my help there anywhere I can. And so that was really cool, just to be like, wow, I'm a solo game developer because I don't have a team, and because I'm not really worried about profitability. I want to make games that make a difference. I don't want to make games that sell well. There may be an overlap, but I'm not really worried about that right now. So I don't have money to hire people. I'm not I don't have a team in that way, but I'm already starting to find like-minded people who are interested in helping. So I was talking to this one friend, and then the other friend, who I've mentioned before, is a musician and composer. He's done a lot of music stuff. He goes, "Oh, when you need help with the music for your game, you let me know." So I went from I'm a solo developer who's doing all this on my own because I have no one to help me, to the things that I'm planning on doing first, I have people to help me with, and the things I'm planning on doing later, who knows? There may be people who show up and say, "Hey, I can help you with this. I can help you with art or whatever." So that's really cool, that I'm starting to find a team that loves the vision of this, even if it's not a actual, team where, we're paying people and whatever. Like it's cool that there are people who are saying, "Hey, you're trying to do this as more of a volunteer ministry thing. I'm in with you," and that's been really cool and really encouraging. So yeah, that's my short little update. I'm going to be continuing on all these things, and expect a few extra videos on the channel of both sharing this game and then other little projects or things I might be doing. But yeah, 20 games 30 days is continuing, but there's more coming as well. And I just wanted to give an update saying, yeah, I think I've learned enough that I'm ready to start my first game, and I am excited for it. So see you then, and thank you for watching.